Shabbat Shalom umevorach Bruchim Habayim. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This week we'll be reading Parashat Vaera. And it starts with Moshe Rabbeinu going to Paro with his brother Aharon, telling him that our HaKadosh Baruch Hu, our God, sent us to take the Jews out of Mitzrayim. Paro says, "Who's God? I never heard of your God. I have so many different gods." And they did the magic with the sticks and the snakes. And then we started the 10 Makot in this week's parasha. This week we have 7 of the Makot. And next week we have the remaining 3. But everyone knows the first Makkah was Dam, where Moshe Rabbeinu turned the blood into water. But the second Makkah was Sephardea, the frogs. The whole land of Mitzrayim filled up with frogs. If you look at the Pesukim in the parasha, it says that Aharon hit the water because Moshe had a karat atov, so he couldn't hit the water. Aharon hits the water and a big frog comes out. And in the Pasuk it says Sephardea, one, singular. And we know Chazal teach us that the Mitzrayim around them got angry and they started hitting the frog. And every time they hit the frog, more frogs came out. And they got more angry. And they hit the frog again. More frogs came out of the one big frog. And that's how the whole land of Mitzrayim got filled up with these small frogs. The obvious question is, if you look back, we all learned the story, we all learned this Chazal when we were young. The Mitzrayim, they couldn't think for a second. You have a frog, every time you hit it, more frogs came out. But they didn't stop. They hit it again, more frogs, more frogs. They thought by the 20th time something else is going to come out, diamonds are going to come out. They kept on hitting the frogs. So we know, as the Stipler Gaon explains, and how Chazal teaches us, is when someone becomes angry, when you're in the midst of anger, there's no rational thinking. They see a frog, they hit it, frogs came out, they got upset, they hit it again. But the deeper they got into their anger, the more angry they got. They hit it more and faster and faster. And even though we know, or a bystander would have seen, and says the faster you hit it, the more frogs are coming out. And if you would have stopped for a second or only hit it the first time, there only maybe would have been 10, 20, 50 frogs. But because they didn't stop hitting it, the whole land filled up with frogs. But the reason why they didn't stop is because they were so angry and they were so into their anger and following their anger, they couldn't think. The Sliper teaches us, and we know, that when someone's angry, Rabotai, you cannot think. You cannot think what's today, what's tomorrow. You cannot think 5 seconds ahead. When you're angry, you're blinded. You're blinded by the anger, and whatever anger you have is the fuel, and it gets more and more and more. And that's how anger causes many, many problems in life, causes trauma, causes damage. We have to learn from these Mitzrayim not to do what they did. When you become angry, we get angry sometimes. In the end of the day, we're human beings. Everyone gets angry. It's a not good midah. We should work on ourselves. But we should at least work on ourselves. If I get angry, let me limit my anger. Let me stop, let me think. Now it's very hard. But if you catch it in the beginning, it's possible. But if you let yourself get more angry, at a certain point you're so angry you forgot what you argued about. You forgot even what you're doing. So we have to learn from here, Abotai. The Gemara says one of the worst things is someone who sucks up to his anger, someone who lives up to his anger, he follows his anger. It's like being in Gehinam in this world. You're going farther away from HaKadosh Baruch Hu when you're following your anger. We have to realize how careful we have to be. It's very easy to get angry. Things happen. But we have to think for a second. And like I said, catch it in the beginning. Especially Shalom Bayit with our wives, with our children, with our friends. We get angry, but stop. Because if you don't stop, and we've seen this many times, if you don't stop getting angry, and it gets worse. You forget what you're thinking. You forget what the discussion's about. It doesn't even matter anymore. And you cause damage that Chas v'Shalom cannot be reversible. So B'ezrat Hashem, we have to be kind, we have to be nice to others. Not be like the Mitzrayim. We have to work on our anger to get closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If you're less angry, you have a more peaceful life. You could learn more Torah, you could do more mitzvot. Your wife is going to be happier, your children are going to be happier, your husband. We have to realize that anger is not a good thing, and we should not follow into the anger. And B'ezrat Hashem, if we work on it, our life will be more peaceful, and we'll see the Geulah very soon. Shabbat Shalom umevorach.